All right, today we're going to be correctly writing congruent statements for triangles. First, we need to know what a congruent triangle is, or what congruent triangles are. And congruent triangles are when all the parts of one triangle match up with parts of the other triangle. And we call that corresponding parts, okay, when those parts match up, okay? So before we start talking about those congruent triangles, we're going to just talk about a triangle. So I have here triangle ABC, and I need to know how to write the sides correctly and the angles correctly. Remember, sides are always going to be two letters from endpoint to endpoint. For example, this side of the triangle can be called side AB, and we use this bar on the top to show that that is a side AB, or I can call it by its name backwards, side BA. The same for the second side here. We have side BC, so I can call it side BC, so bar BC here, or I can call it backwards, side CB, the next one is side CA, or I can call it by its name backwards, side AC. So depending on how you read your first triangle, you have to read your second triangle in that same way. So if I'm going to read this triangle ABC, then your other triangle, you have to make sure that you go in the same order so that your corresponding parts match up, okay? As far as angles are concerned, angles can be called by their vertex name, so whatever capital letter you see on each corner, angle A, angle B, or angle C. However, if you are sharing a vertex with another triangle, then you can't call this angle A. You have to call it now by its first, middle, and last name. So it needs 3 letters, okay? It's very different from sides. Sides only require 2 letters. Angles will require 3 letters. Always keeping note that the middle letter is always the angle you're talking about, okay? So for example, for angle A, I can call it also angle BAC, or go backwards and call it angle CAB. Notice that I kept on saying A in the middle because that was the angle I was talking about. For angle B, the same thing. I can call it angle ABC or angle CBA, making sure that that B is the angle we're talking about. And for angle C, the same thing. I can call it angle BCA or angle ACB, making sure that that angle C is in the middle of those other letters, okay? So we're going to be having 2 triangles, okay? So here's my triangle. Now I have 2 of them, okay? And we're trying to match sides up, okay? So I've already color-coded this for you. As you can see, if I stack these 2 triangles together, my colors match up, okay? So it really doesn't matter if I were to turn this triangle a different way. You would know what sides match up with what based on the colors I have. The other way you know how things match up is by the symbols that the sides have and the symbols that the angles have. So for example, this pink side here has only 1 mark. The pink side on the other one also has 1 mark. This blue side has 2 marks, and then this blue side has also 2 marks. And then the green side has 3 marks, and the other green side has 3 marks. So the amount of marks show which sides are the same length, okay? So obviously the pink ones are 1 length, the blue ones are another length, and the green ones are a different length from the other 2. The same goes for angles. As you can see, my angle A will match up with angle D, and we only give it 1 mark. For angle B, it matches up with angle E, so we give it 2 marks. And then for angle C, it corresponds to angle F, so we give it 3 marks. And this is showing which angles match up with one another, which ones have the same measure, okay? So let's get started. What we're going to do is we are already given 2 triangles. I'm going to zoom in here, okay? And we are already told that angle ABC is congruent to angle TRS. So what we want to do here is mark this triangle I highly suggest you use color. So if you have some highlighters available, it makes things so much easier. Okay. So the way you read the triangle, the way it's given, is the way they match up. Okay, so I'm going to start with angles since angles can be just one letter. So angle A is going to match up with angle T. Okay, so I'm going to go to angle A and I'm going to put one mark on angle A. And that first letter here matches up with the first letter in that second triangle. So I'm going to put one mark here. Angle B, or the letter B, will match up with the letter R. So that means I'm going to give those guys 2 marks in the angles. So angle B, I'm going to give it 2 marks, and angle R is going to get 2 marks. And then angle C, it matches up with angle S. So the letter C gets 3 marks, and the letter S gets 3 marks as well. Okay, so we dealt with the angles that way. Now we're going to deal with the sides. Okay, remember sides have 2 letters to their name, so we go 2 letters at a time. Okay, so I'm going to go here to side AB matches up with side TR. So I'm going to highlight AB yellow, and TR I have to also highlight the same color because those guys match up. Now I go to the second set of letters. So BC will match up with RS. So I'm going to go to BC, highlighted a different color, and then RS, the same color. Okay. And then finally, I take the last letter and the first letter of the triangle. So CA is the last side we haven't highlighted, and that one matches up with ST. Remember, order matters. So CA, I'm going to highlight blue, and then ST. Okay. So going in order A, B, C, A, B, C. So side AB, I'm going to give it 1 mark, and that matches up with TR. Then BC, side BC is going to get 2 marks. That means RS is going to get 2 marks. And then CA is going to get 3 marks. And then ST will get 3 marks. Okay? So now that you've marked your 2 triangles, it is extremely easy to now see what matches up with what. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 2 triangles and we're going to write down the sides that correspond with one another and then the angles that correspond with one another. Okay? So let me just center it here. Okay, so we're going to start with the first triangle. I know that for sides, we were talking about side AB, then side BC, and then side CA. Okay, and I want to say what that is congruent to on the other triangle. So I can just look at the letters again. Side TR, side RS, and then side ST. Now you can verify this information with your triangle. Remember, we're going A, B, C. So the one that has 1 mark, TR, then it's RS, and then it's ST. Okay. Now we're going to do the angles. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to the original, angle A, angle B, and angle C. We're going to see which sides correspond or which angles correspond with those particular angles. So angle A corresponds with angle T. Angle B corresponds with angle R. Angle C corresponds with angle S. Okay. So all we're doing right now is getting what corresponds with what. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. We're going to now look at number 2. And we're going to do the same thing. So we want to label everything. We want to mark everything to make sure that we show what matches up with what. Okay, so let's get started on that one. Same idea. We're going to go with the angles first and then with the sides. So angle A, the first letter matches up with the first letter. So I'm going to give it 1 mark. Okay, so let me see right here. Angle A, angle T. Angle B matches up with angle C. So angle B here, 2 marks. with angle C. Now I know that angle C is here and it's also here. But remember, if I'm talking about triangle ABC, this is one triangle. The other triangle is TCV, okay? So when we're talking about this angle C, it is the one on this side, okay? So I'm going to give this guy 2 marks. And then angle C on the triangle ABC, I'm going to give now 3 marks. And that one matches up with angle V. Okay, now we're going to use colors to highlight the sides. So side AB, I'm going to highlight yellow. And that guy matches up with side TC. Okay. The next side is side BC, so I'm going to highlight that orange. And side BC corresponds to CV. Okay. And the last side, side CA, I'm going to highlight in blue. And that one corresponds with side VT, and that one's going to be blue. Okay. So again, I'm going to just give it the marks. So AB has 1 mark, BC has 2 marks, and CA has 3 marks. And now I'm going to match up those marks with the corresponding sides here. Okay. Now it shouldn't be very difficult to find the corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. Okay. So I know that for this triangle, the sides, I got side AB, side BC, and side CA. Now I want to see what is congruent to what. So for side AB, the side that corresponds is the side TC. For BC, it is CV. And for CA, it's going to be VT. For angles, this time because we're sharing an angle, we're going to call them by their 3-letter names, okay? So I'm going to start with angle A, okay, which I can call whatever I want, either if I go backwards or forwards, okay? It's up to you what you want to do. So I'm going to say for this one, angle CAB. The other one's going to be angle ABC. And the other one is going to be angle BCA, okay? Here are my vertices. And we want to see what corresponds with what, just looking at the letters. So just by looking at these letters here, CAB corresponds with VTC. So angle VTC. And your order matters, okay? Okay, looking at triangle ABC, ABC matches up with angle TCV. And then for angle BCA, it matches up with CVT. So angle CVT. So from here, we're going to now decide what segment actually is congruent to side CA. So if you want to pause the video, okay? All right. Let's do just a couple more. Now this time, they're telling us that the 2 triangles are congruent, and now we have to mark the angles and the sides of each pair of triangles to indicate that they are congruent, okay? So this is just like what we were doing, we were marking, okay? So if you want to pause the video, mark it yourself, and then come back to the video, and then we can check our answers, okay? All right, for me, I'm going to start with angles. So R matches up with E. So angle R gets 1 mark. Q matches up with D. So that's going to get 2 marks. And then P matches up with C. So that one's going to get 3 marks. Okay. Now with the sides, same idea. Side RQ. RQ gets 1 sign, so ED gets 1 sign. QP gets 2 signs. That means DC gets 2 signs. And then PR gets 3 signs. And CE gets 3 signs. Okay, from here you can write down the corresponding sides and the corresponding angles. Okay, last one. This time, all you have to do is write a statement that indicates that the triangles in each pair are congruent. So I see two triangles, and I want to make sure that I write down the correct order for my letters so that both of the triangles are congruent. So I start looking at the symbols, okay? And I'm going to go with the angles because the angles are usually the easiest. So it looks like C has 1 mark, B has 2 marks, and A has 3 marks. So it looks like I'm going to call my triangle C, B, A. And I want to say that this triangle is congruent to the one next to it because all of the angles are congruent as well as all of the sides. 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks. So how do we call the second triangle? If you want to pause the video right now so that you can write the answer, and then we'll check together. Okay, if I follow the same pattern, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks, now I go to the triangle on the right, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks, and I write down the letter C, the letter B, and then the letter X. So, triangle CBA is congruent to triangle CBX. Well, I hope this clarified how to write corresponding parts of congruent triangles. See you next time.